Okay. I was like, let me just start the camera because I'm having all kinds of difficulties today. I really was trying not to have this glare in my glasses, but it's just gonna do what it wants to do. Also, I have really been enjoying this color. I don't know what this color is, but this color has been making me very happy. So going back to the small things in life, I don't know. This color I just really like it. Also, we have a new hairstyle today. This is probably my favorite go-to hairstyle. My little puff ball. It's really cute today. I have my little tendrils. I'm absolutely stalling. But yeah, I think my hair is really cute today. I got these new little clip earring things that are really cute. I can't pierce my ears because my ears keloid, but I can have little clips, so I did that. Yeah, so I guess not to prolong the inevitable. This week has been hard. This week has been a lot. I honestly, I don't know. It's been a very long, and it's only Thursday. Like, can you go? Like, can you just be done already? But yeah, this week has been really long. And again, without getting into too many details, this is more about and sharing other people's lives. I just want to talk about my feelings and how I felt during this week. So, my entire family, well, not my entire family, but like my immediate family, my parents and my brother, were all back together in our house again. And this week, or what's been brought to my mind and what I kind of want to do an entry about is, again, talking about love, which again is not very off-brand for me because I am somebody who really thinks that I honestly feel like love is everything. Like, that's literally everything everything that life is about is just love. I mean, without that, what is life about? Like, what is it for? Like, it isn't. Life is just boring if you don't have people, if you're not surrounded by people that you love and that love you back. Anyways, this week has been really weird because I feel like so many things have happened to me this week that connected dots that all were going to lead up to me having this discussion with myself today. So on last Sunday, I had my monthly book club meeting, and we were reading Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. And somehow during our book club meeting or whatever, somehow we got on the topic of love because I was talking to my bookies. I don't know, what do you call your book club people? Your bookies? I don't know. Those people from my book club, my friends from my book club. And I was talking about how I ended up I asked this guy on a date, right? Yeah, anyways. And his response was odd to me. And, but didn't think much of it. Like, I didn't think much of it at the time. But that was like a defining moment. It's weird, and it's also really weird how, like, you don't even realize how there are moments that happen in your life that you think are insignificant, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, they all are for a reason. So then that happened, and then somehow I was talking to my mom about something else, and that happened, and basically it led me to something major changing in my life on, what was that, Tuesday? I don't even remember. Something very major happened in my life that just really yeah, like those conversations that, you wake up and you're like, this is not how I thought my day was going to go, and I didn't think my life was going to change based off of one conversation. It's kind of like that. So, but, so all those things kind of connecting the dots, I was like, God, the thing about me is I'm not somebody who's afraid of uncomfortable conversations. Honestly, I'm somebody who is more likely to lean into uncomfortable conversations because I think that that's the only way that we grow and we gain perspective. But I am not somebody who likes to go into uncomfortable conversations without some type of, like, some type of like warning or something like that. Like I just don't, I can't, it does not work for me. And so I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I was like, girl, I feel like the universe or somebody should have gave me a syllabus before they decided to just blow my entire life up. And then I got to thinking, I was like, whoa, like everything that I was going through, like my book club, having that conversation with my mom, that was my syllabus. Like I didn't realize it. And I think that's a big thing about this quarantine is there are so many things that happen in our life, in my life. And I feel like sometimes I'm just not quieting myself enough to listen and to hear what's really going on. And so when I was at her house, I was like, girl, I feel like that was my syllabus. Like I think that those things that were happening to me were all leading up to this like big, uncomfortable, life-changing conversation, and I didn't even realize it. And so in the moment while I'm having this like life-altering conversation, I tell her, I've been watching a lot of anime, which is an entirely different conversation. Again, things that make you happy. I think I'm gonna make a video about all the different animes that I picked up during this quarantine. I am so happy that, I guess, praise report, gotta have praise report. I'm really happy that this time has let me get back to that childlike fantasy. Because like I feel like before this I was really not in, like I was into anime when I was like younger, but since I had become like a young adult, I hadn't really picked up anime and stuff like that. And I don't know, I mean, quarantine is just, you have nothing but time. So I'm really happy that I did pick some, and I've been watching some really interesting stuff, so I'm actually really excited to share and like collect all the ones and rate them. But getting back to the topic, I was telling her, just giving her an example of like, while I'm having this conversation, it's not even my conversation, but while I'm sitting here listening to this conversation, I told her it felt like seeing a giant boulder about to roll off of a cliff, and you're standing in the way of the boulder, but like you cannot move. Like you just have to accept that this boulder is going to crush you and hit you and might possibly kill you, but you can't do anything about it. Which is kind of how I feel like what this life, or what 2020 is doing to me or making me feel. It's just that life just does not care about you, and things are going to happen, and you just like, you literally have no control over it. So this gets me to my first point. Like, while I wanted to talk about in my book club, I was telling them how while we were talking, and it was so weird because I was beginning to be so disgusted with myself, that I realized that the way I approach love. So full disclosure, I feel like I've said this before, but I have never had a boyfriend. I am 24 years old. I have never had a boyfriend, romantic partner. I've never had a fling. Like, it's just never happened to me. I don't know why, but it is just never happened. And I was telling them how I didn't realize until that moment while I was in the book club meeting that I feel as if, for me and the way that I go about my life, I'm such a giver. Like, I'm somebody who more than likely is going to be pouring into other people, supporting other people, being there for other people. And I told them that I realized that I feel like that's my coping mechanism. Because if I can feel myself in my time with supporting and being there and giving to other people, I do not have to focus on the fact that there's nobody giving, supporting, and loving me like that. And it was a mind-blowing thing, because it was just like, wow. This whole time I'm just like not even thinking about it. I'm just like, oh, that's just how I am. And though it can be how I am, it's not always now I'm seeing it's not always a positive thing, because it doesn't give me enough time to think about the things that I want. And also the second thing is, like, you know, like I said, I've never had like a romantic partner, boyfriend, anything like that for a long time I've tried to convince myself that I don't want it, like, or that I don't need it. Need is a not right word, but that I don't want it, that, you know, I would be fine without it. And though there is truth that I mean, if it didn't happen for me, I would have to be fine, because that's life. But it would be, I am lying to myself that I do not want to be loved, to be desired, to be, praised, to be gawked over, to be loved, like to experience romantic eros type love. I would really be lying to myself if I didn't say that out loud. And I think that I told them, like, I didn't even realize that I do so much for other people, because while I'm doing things for other people, I don't have to worry about what they're doing for me. Which goes back to like my other quarantine vlog where I was talking about how love as an embodiment, which is true, but also that's a very enlightened place. And just because I can understand that concept doesn't mean that I have the tools and the strategies to get to that type of place in my life yet. Like, I'm not there. Like, it will be crazy for me to just feel like I don't want someone to be there and support me and love me the way that I'm there and love them. So that's a hard thing that I'm kind of like tossing in the air. Like, is reciprocity important? Is it not important? Like, where is the middle ground, basically? Because I feel like that's where life is, honestly, at least on Earth. On Earth, it's always about the middle ground. So, but basically, so from that book club, one of the girls, she was saying for our next meeting next month, we should really write down and talk about, what is it that we want out of love. And craziest thing, like, all those dots connecting to what happened to me, what happened on like 2 days ago, it just made me realize that I want an enthusiastic love. Like, I want someone to be enthusiastic about being with me. Like, I want to feel adored, admired, like praised, like just honestly just so excited. I want someone to be enthusiastic, and that go back to like when I told you about like that I asked this guy on a date, and basically his response was like, right now, sure. And at the time when I read that text, I promise you, like, I did not think anything about it. And when I said that to other people out loud, they were like, right now, sure? Like, like, what does that even mean? People say that it should always be an enthusiastic yes. Like, so a person who wants to be around you should be enthusiastic and should be able to be like, anytime that I'm around you, I'm excited about it. And another thing that I was thinking about is like having a person who shows up. Like, having a person who, when it comes down to it and when it matters, that person is there, they're present. And I just feel like that's the thing that sets a lot of people apart in life, that there are not a lot of people who are really going to show up for you, like, who are really going to be like, when stuff starts to go to crap, like when your life is imploding, like, there's not a lot of people who are going to be like, I'm going to be your strength when you can't. Like, there's not a lot of people who are going to be like, when you need to just cry and when you need somewhere to just seek a safe haven, I will be here for you. And people who, like, when they tell you, you believe it in your heart, like, you believe it with your entire soul that they mean it. And I was just thinking about, like, man, this also goes, well, let me go through my other one. And then I think the most important thing about a love that I want is, like, people aren't perfect, right? And I don't think perfect is boring anyway. Let's just start with that. Perfect is like, ew. I don't want that. Like, I don't want perfect. But what I want is a person who has a willingness to be a better lover, a better human being, a better supporter, a better confidant, like somebody who was willing to put in the work. And I was listening to like a podcast, like I listen to a podcast like every week, and it's just this couple, and they were saying that honestly half of making a marriage work or making a love work is the individual's willingness to put in the personal work. And it's like when you yourself as an individual show up better, your connection, your relationship will be better. And again, like I said in a previous thing, that's in any type of relationship. That's friends, family, lovers, work. Like when you show up better, when you look in yourself and you're like, what can I do to love this person better, support them better, but also just wanting like a real willingness and want, a desire to be a better human being. Like most people do not care, and it is insane to me. It frustrates me so bad. And again, this also, complete side note about being a woman, like I am so just every day I am frustrated sometimes with, I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to go down that whole rabbit hole, but as a woman, it's just like we bear so much of a burden. We bear so much of a burden, and it's like sometimes like I think about my mom and I'm like, through all her stuff, right? Through everything, the woman shows up. Like she's such a light to be around. Like she is such a beautiful soul and a beautiful human being. And it really doesn't even come from her just being like that. It comes from her willingness to try. And I'm so happy that that was given to me as her child, because the thing that I know about myself, and I'm very confident in myself, is that I have a willingness to try. I have a willingness to be better. I have a willingness to show up. Like, and most people are not like that. And I honestly hate the saying, oh, you know, there's so many fish in the sea. And it's crazy because men can like say that because statistically speaking, men are more like women. Women outnumber men by so much. And it's like, there are so many great women in the world that it's like, to y'all, to men, yes, there are many fish in the sea. And it was so funny. I was telling my friend yesterday, it was listening to this thing about this gay guy, and he was saying, you know, I don't understand why people are always like, you know, you choose to be gay, you choose to be gay. He was like, girl, have you met men? He was like, do you think I chose this attraction? And I always just thought that was so funny, but again, I'll try to keep these short, so I don't be trying to like make them super long, but essentially that's just what it is. And I guess the question is just asking myself, you know, and I also giving myself the freedom to want what I want and to not feel like I need to settle. And also, bro, you deserve to be gassed every day of your life. Like, you deserve to be gassed, to be loved, to be desired, to never feel like you are small. Like, I love that Beyonce line when she was like, bro, my man makes me feel like I'm amazing. Like, I feel like I want to be with a lover who is like, girl, every time you walk out the door, you will know. I am going to tell you every day of my life. I'm going to beat it into your mind until you get it. Like, because I'm like that. I show up like that. Like, I'm like, bro, if I love you, you're going to know. I'm going to tell you I love you every day of your life until you walk around the world and it is seared into your brain that you are highly admired and fiercely, intensely loved. My mother literally will move earth for people that she loved. And the thought that anybody, girl, anyways. So Andrea, into the future, when you see this, anybody, man, woman, who knows, whatever, just ask yourself, how do you want to be loved? Because it matters. It matters so much. Like, and I'm talking about romantic friends. Like, how do you want to be loved? Like, what is important to you? Like, what is it really? And I feel like in this next phase of my life, because I'm 24, gonna turn 25, and I'm like, girl, all these proposals and babies and marriages that's happening in quarantine, I'm like, sis, like, this is interesting. So yeah, that's it. The ending question is just, how do you want to be loved? And I'm gonna write that down, because I feel like when I come back to refer, I gotta be able to know what was talked about. I be trying to name these things quarantine. Girl, we don't know what that is. So yes, peace and blessings.